Welcome to another episode of the show where we interview the storytellers, the hustlers, and the outcasts of the world. Today, for the first time, we're going to do something special. We are actually going to interview one of Team Move's longest running clients, Noreen Okikawa. And I've known Noreen now for about 6 to 7 years since she started with Team Move. She's done our yoga classes. She's done our Move Camp classes. And she's going to share her story about her fight with, breast cancer and her relationship with exercise and her health over the years. And this is going to be a great story. Without further ado, let me welcome Noreen Okikawa. Hi, Noreen.
Hey, Damon.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Good.
I looked back in my email and everything, and you started yoga with us in 2013, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I did. 2013. April or May, yeah.
And then I think 2014 you started with us, started doing our Move Camp classes. So it's been, I can't believe it's been that long.
6 years. Holy.
Oh my gosh, that went by fast.
Time flies. Yeah, when you're having fun.
Okay. Did you really mean that, or was that sarcasm?
Yes, I did.
Oh, when I'm having fun, it goes by so fast.
Well, it's because I never really exercised as much as I did when I started with you. So.
Well, you turned into a whole different person, and it was cool because I got front row seats for that show from the beginning when you started all the way up until now, and we're gonna kind of talk about that. But let's start from the beginning. So, growing up as a kid, what was your relationship with exercise? Like, did your parents do it, or kind of tell me about that?
No, my parents never exercised at all. Not until, at least not when I was a kid. And I wasn't into sports. So the only exercise I got was when I was playing with the neighborhood kids. That was it. Playing Cheese Master and all of that.
Did you do any sports or like activities growing up that you were involved in?
Nothing organized. I didn't do soccer or anything like that. My exercise was maybe roller skating with the kids around the neighborhood, or just the usual running or riding our bike. But nothing. And my parents never pushed me to get involved in sports. So
high school, were you more, like childhood, you did the usual, you played outside, which, maybe you have some young people that's listening. They're like, what is that? What is this whole other world? What is this whole other world called outside? That's a crazy concept. But that was the best. That was the best.
After school with all the neighborhood kids, we just fuss around. There was a basketball net somebody put up on the street, and we just shoot baskets and stuff. Ride our bikes.
Were you more of a tomboy then, growing up, you think?
Actually, no. No, I wasn't. Not at all. I played and stuff, but I think there was always that fear of getting hurt. So that held me back from just going for it, Yeah.
You still had that. Yeah, I was a sissy too. So we would have. We should have played with each other. We got along fine. Like I was a total sissy too.
I played jacks. I love that stuff.
That's good. And I think as we transition into talking about exercise and fitness and everything, confidence plays a big role as far as how you feel about your body.
Yeah.
And, for a lot of people, it's just simple things like going to the gym and not worrying about what others think, or, for you, you're in our Move Camp class, and we we're pretty much on. We're kind of in the spotlight because the setup in the park is in front of everyone.
Yeah, we're on display.
We are on display. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that until maybe I think you might have been the one of the few that brought it up, and you're like, oh, I never felt comfortable about doing this in front of people. And every time I pass you guys, and I thought, wow, I never thought about that because I'm always on display, and I'm like, okay, it's just it's weird. It's like being on stage and the lights in the audience is off. It's dark. So that's kind of how I feel in some ways.
That's a good way of putting it.
I know I got deep there. Sorry, but it really is, for at least from my point of view. I don't see everyone because I'm trying to focus on my class in front of me and making sure that I'm at least half decent or half entertaining to get them through the hour, which isn't always.
And before starting yoga with you and with Danny, and then move camp with you, because I used to go walking and running around the park, so I would see the classes, and I would be like, I felt uncomfortable thinking that you guys are out here on display in public doing this.
Yeah, you felt uncomfortable for us. Just watching us, you felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I thought, well, I can't, I'm not good at those things. So I would feel real self-conscious being there. But I think once I got involved with the classes, you're right. After I started doing it, it was the motivation to do the exercises, I think, outweighed it just made everything else just kind of go away. Like, I know I don't focus on the people walking around or whether they're looking at me or anything. It didn't matter anymore.
Going into your adult years, before us, in your 20s, your 30s, I know you're still in your 30s. So what I mean is you're
I wish. Try like 20 years more.
In the 2 decades or so leading up to meeting us, how were those years? Because we never talked about that. How was your relationship with exercise during those years?
Well, I did aerobics, like jazzercise. I did jazzercise for a little bit in, I guess, the early to late 80s. I did some jazzercise. Yeah. And then, but after that, then I joined the gym, but I was very inconsistent. I didn't really know what I was doing, so that didn't help. So a lot of it was just really short-lived, efforts to exercise and look better and lose weight and all of that. So, it really.
You really never got into a groove then?
No, not at all. Not at all. And even though the desire to lose the weight was there, for me, I wasn't either I don't really know. See, I don't even really know what it was. Was it I just didn't have enough motivation? Was I just not disciplined enough? I don't know. But I just, very, very inconsistent. So most of my young adult life was, fitness wasn't part of it at all. And so I remember in January of 2014 was, we decided, come January, that's when we're going to start our first class with Move Camp. And it was a trial for a month, I think it was, or something like that. And we both said, we can try this for a month. And we had each other. So, to make it more comfortable. And after that, it was like, I'm loving this. And the thing is, I never considered myself a competitive person. And I think that's why, I wasn't so much into doing things in high school or college where I would compete. But I think once I started Move Camp and I saw like Nora and Gail and and Jonathan and stuff, and I
Oh
saw
yeah, those guys will make you compete.
and I saw how strong they were, but they never intimidated me. I mean, they were just so nice and welcoming. I mean, they were just great.
Because it was a friendly competition. It
was totally,
right?
yeah. It wasn't like they were trying to show off or anything like that. They were not arrogant. I mean, I just loved them, but it sort of pushed me to, okay, I want to get, even though they're like a lot younger than me, I just wanted to be as good as they were.
And it helps. It helps to push each other. I think everyone has had those training partners where either they're on the same level as you, or they're just a little faster at certain things. And when you have that, it really helps you to not only push each other, but you also keep each other accountable. If you miss a class or you feel like you don't want to go that day, you're going to hear it from them, or they're going to ask you, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, we missed you or whatever. So you start to feel a little bit guilty, like, oh crap,
Yeah, I was asking Robin. I left you guys for Baskin Robbins. Jeez, I feel kind of bad. You guys were missing me, and I was missing.
I know. Here I was, going out for dinner and stuff. Yeah, yeah. But did I ever tell you about that? You had that running. What do you call it? It was a move camp for runners or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember my first one that you had, and Jonathan was there, and you know how you would break us up into groups, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember Jonathan and I were in the same group, and the whole time I was determined. I kept trying to beat him because you would make a sprint, right? Okay, group one, sprint, run as fast as you can to that red car, and we'd go off, and he always beat me, but the whole time I tried my hardest to beat him. I really tried. And I don't think he even knew that.
What? I tell you guys, there's a lot of people outside when I go exercise, they don't know I'm racing them. They don't know the race. I'm sorry, you're in a race, and I just beat you, even though you didn't know you were in that race.
Yeah. But, it's kind of embarrassing if you're trying to, beat this, say, 80-year-old, and you're having a hard time just keeping up with them. That was me.
Well, I mean, that helps to push you, and that's why groups are so beneficial, I think, is because everybody's, first of all, everyone's out there for the same purpose. Everyone's trying to get better, and it's a supportive environment, and why not, why not use other people in the class to help push you and make you better? And even though you might have not caught up to him, I'm pretty sure you got faster. I'm pretty sure your aerobic capacity definitely improved.
Well,
so you got some kind of benefit from it.
Yeah. Even if I didn't have the satisfaction of beating him, you're right.
We'll see him down the line. We'll wait about 5 years.
I still won because you're right. I kept going faster. I probably wouldn't have run as fast as I did if I wasn't trying to beat him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think it was so cool to see you get better and better every week, and you just became one of it was almost like a wolf pack, and then we allowed another wolf to come in. When the new wolf comes in, as it's, the tail was down a little bit, maybe it looks down, and then all of a sudden the rest of the wolves start running, and then this wolf is learning to you mean we're going to go hunting now? Okay, I'll go with you guys. And that's kind of how you were in the...
Oh, funny.
As each week went by, and it was so cool. I think, it was so cool to watch you get better, and oh my gosh.
And I became more confident.
That's the best part of my job, is watching the confidence grow. And the coolest part about people like you, Judy, Jory, all the ones that's been there for a while, is you would see 20-something-year-olds come in, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, I know they're not my age, but let's do this." And then they would just get a lot of them would get blown away because you guys would just like it would be like the tortoise and the hare, where these guys have a bunch of and I don't mean that in like an old or young way, but I mean that as you waste all your energy in the beginning because you feel good, and you don't conserve it like the tortoise. The tortoise conserves it and ends up finishing and winning in the end. And these 20-something-year-olds would come in and be like, "Oh yeah, first round, oh whatever," and then second or third round, you guys would still be going, and they'd be like, and it was so cool to watch that because we're talking about like, you know, at least a 10, 15-year gap or so. But
if not more, yeah.
You guys don't act like it. You guys just didn't show that. And that's why I've always been proud of you guys, and I've always told people I would put these ladies up against anyone. I promise you. I put them up against anyone because they might tell you their age and they might seem like, oh, little poor me, but trust me, when you get them out there, it's a whole different ball game. So, it's been a pleasure so far, and but I remember that day where it was in yoga class, and I remember sitting down with you, and then I don't know if you text me or maybe it was just that day you told me at class that you had something to tell me, and when you told me it, I was like, oh wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but you told me about your breast cancer, correct?
Yeah. It was just the two of us in yoga class. We were both there early, so it was kind of perfect, you know. It was perfect.
And I'll never forget that day. I remember everything. And what was your, I guess, when you first found out, what was your reaction? How did you, because you're on top of the world, you know, you're racing Jonathan and you're doing all this stuff, and then you're running with the wolves. And
Yep.
And then you find this out. So what was your reaction to that? You remember that day?
Yeah, my doctor called me to tell me that they had taken the biopsy and that I did have breast cancer. I was at work at the time. I think, you know, it wasn't like in the movies where you find out and you start crying and break down and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't like that. I think you kind of expect it, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't have gone through all of that, the mammogram and the biopsy prior. But, I was a little numb, I think. Couldn't quite believe it. I don't think the gravity of it had hit me, or that I realized, okay, because at that point I didn't know what was going to happen, right? I didn't know in terms of treatment, because I hadn't discussed that yet with my oncologist. It was just the first step was, okay, I have breast cancer, and now what? And then I remember just having to call Bruce and to tell him. So I think initially he took it harder than me. Because it wasn't like I had been in any kind of pain. And I think with the breast cancer, there's no pain. So I didn't feel sick. That's the thing. It was just I found a lump, but I wasn't in pain. I wasn't feeling sick.
No symptoms. Totally
no
healthy.
No symptoms. And you're right. I think at that point in my life, which was late 2015, I felt like I was in the best shape of my life.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that went a long way to helping me deal with the surgery and the chemotherapy.
Because how long did it last, the whole process? I mean, as far as the chemo and everything.
Well, chemo, so after I had the surgery to remove the lump, and I had to wait about a month. Sorry about the noise behind me. I had to wait about a month before I started chemo. So chemotherapy was just, was 4 treatments, and that I did it over the course of, I guess, about 2 months, a little over 2 months. And then I had a break, and then after that was radiation, and radiation was over 30 treatments. It was like almost every day, every weekday for 7 weeks that I was going for radiation. And when you start the radiation, because I had already gone through chemo, that your body is already taking some beating. But actually I felt pretty okay after chemotherapy. After every treatment, there would be like certain days where I would feel like I got hit by a bus. I mean, my body was just aching, and fortunately I could still eat. So that never really affected me.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, because I didn't have the nausea that other people might experience. So I was fortunate in that sense. But it was just certain days after each chemotherapy treatment, I just had to stay home and just rest because my body was just so. Yeah, I mean, I really felt like I just got beaten up so badly.
When does it hit you? Does it hit you while you're going through it, or does it hit you like an hour or two later when you get home? When does that feeling hit?
Well, I think one thing early on from the get-go I learned from my surgeon. She said, no one's going to have experienced the exact same thing.
Okay.
So how you might respond to treatments, when you respond, can differ from person to person. But so for me, while I was because I would spend several hours at the cancer center, getting the chemo infusion, and they did it through IV, that no problem. You don't feel anything. And I never had a bad reaction to the chemotherapy drug. Or I know somebody else, a friend of mine, who was going through, she had different kind of cancer. So of course she was also taking different kind of drugs for it, but she had a bad reaction to the to the chemo drugs. But for me, it was fine, and I felt okay after the treatment. The next day, I would have to go in and get a shot. The shot the next day would be to boost my red blood cells, and then I had to be really careful about exposure, going out in public because of my immune system where I was compromised, and I had to be really good about what I ate. So I was eating like a ton of spinach. I was eating a ton because I was also slightly anemic, and then usually the 4th and 5th days after my chemo infusion is when I would feel sick.
Okay.
So usually like 2 days I would feel really bad, and then I could go back to work again. I was okay. So I kept on going to work because for me, I think if I had taken like a medical leave of absence and stayed home, I think I would have felt sicker.
So you getting through all that, do you think what contributed to that in helping you, do you think it was that you still kept living your normal life, you still kept going to work, you were still interacting with people? Like, what helped you get through it the most, you think?
Oh my gosh. That's so hard to say. I think I don't know about the most, but I think for me, it was a combination of exercising, because I
Mhm.
even like when I met with a chemo nurse before my first treatment, they call it chemo education. You go there, they tell you what to expect and all that kind of stuff. And because I had already been doing yoga and going to move camp, she encouraged me to continue doing that as much as I could. So staying healthy and trying to do my exercise, while going through chemo and radiation. So the exercising, the eating, the diet,
Mhm.
trying to eat healthy, eating things that would keep up my energy level. And then the last was doing activities. So doing things that was normal for me. And that was, going to work. Um, because I felt productive, right? And I think if I stayed home and didn't go to work, I think I would be worrying about all the work that wasn't being done because I wasn't there, or I would feel bad for my coworkers because they would have to, take on the extra workload. But, when you lie, I know there's a time and place for it, right? If you're sick and you just need to stay at home to recover, whatever, I know. So listening to your body, if you need to stay home, then stay home. But if I had just stayed home for the sake of, okay, I'm going through chemotherapy, I'm going through radiation, so I should just stay home. Because I wasn't feeling sick all the time that I was going through treatments, I think if I was home when I was feeling okay, I think for me mentally, I would have been worse. I would have felt sluggish. I would have felt unproductive. I think I would have just felt like my whole life was just focused on this cancer.
Because you kept your mind busy, which is really important. Right?
Yeah. And people at work, would sometimes ask me how I was doing and whatever, and that was fine. And I could talk about it, but I didn't I didn't want people to see me, Noreen, and only think, oh yeah, she's got breast cancer, because that wasn't, that wasn't the truth. I had breast cancer, but there was still that other part of me that was normal, and I wanted to be strong and focus also on the normal stuff,
It's almost as if you trained yourself for 2 years, like 2013, 2014, right? We talked about, and you were training yourself for a fight that you didn't really plan, you didn't know about, and I think it was because of those 2 years of getting yourself so strong, and not only just physically but mentally, that kind of led up to the 2015, right?
Yeah, okay, you just made me cry.
I know, I knew it was coming. I heard the voice and I was like, oh, here.
You know what? I never heard it put that way, like that I had been preparing myself for a fight that I never knew I was going to face.
I literally just, this is not only for you, like, to think back and kind of not relive, but just kind of like look into perspective, a different perspective. Also me, I kind of went through it with you too, and I never realized, like, what would have happened if you didn't have those 2 years to prepare?
I don't know.
What if the mindset was still the same? And it's not that I'm taking credit. What it is just the exercise. It's the fact that you chose to do something, and you could have chose to done it with anyone. It's the fact that you chose to get healthy, and then you started losing weight. You started mentally, physically becoming stronger and more confident. I think that's part of that, and still living a normal life and doing your normal routine, such as going to work. I really think all that combined prepared you for 2015, and you fought it. And Phew. How did your how did your family react to it? Because a lot of people don't know. I technically Noreen and her mom is like my first ever mother daughter client
Yeah.
duel that I train because I did an exercise class at a senior home for her mom. I was doing that, and then before I started that, I was obviously training Noreen. But how did your family take it when they found out?
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course after Bruce, I told my brother and my sister. And I'm the youngest, the three, so I think um yeah, I think they took it hard cuz um yeah, just knowing. I mean, my dad had cancer, so it wasn't like we didn't experience cancer in our family.
Yeah.
Um but just like just something you don't expect or of course don't want to happen to any of your loved ones. Um, and it's hard because it wasn't like something they could fix. Um,
They were help in a way. They were helpless. It was out of their control.
yeah,
Yeah.
all they could do was, of course, talk to me and provide me with whatever support they could, and they did, and that was great. And even after every visit with my oncologist, um, they're one of the first ones that I reported to. Okay, I went to see my doctor, and this is what's going to happen. So, and that was I wanted to share that with them. And it took a while before I told my mom. And I needed my brother and my sister there. And my brother and my sister, I could tell them over the phone, the news, but with my mom, I had to do it in person. Yeah, it just, and poor thing, she.
Your mom's a tough woman. She's really a tough. She has a tough spirit. She's very strong. From what I've seen from her.
Yeah,
So,
she had to endure a lot.
Yeah.
But for her, it was just how come? How did this happen? Weren't you going to the doctor before, and didn't they suspect or
the normal questions?
Yeah. So I felt bad for her because she just, I mean, and I think at one point because she kept on questioning me.
Yeah.
I know, but poor mom. I finally had to, I finally got irritated. I'm sorry, mom, but I finally got irritated, and I said, Mom, you know what? There's no. It happened. It happened. I got breast cancer. So at this point, I'm not gonna question how it happened. Why didn't they detect it sooner? I just have to move forward from here. It's okay, what's going to happen now? And I had to tell her that in order for her to stop, because I think it was driving me crazy. It was probably driving her crazy too. But yeah. So yeah.
The great thing about you that we hardly talk about, I think a lot of people don't know this actually, is you never stop coming to class. That's the crazy thing. And when you told me the news that day, I was thinking, okay, we're looking at a break. We're looking at maybe she'll take a month off, 2 months off when it starts getting bad. But then you just kept coming to class, and I was like, okay, where's the break? And I saw you from hair to no hair to bandana to the hair growing short again.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Do the
That
hair
was an
long?
awkward period.
Yeah, and then it grew long, and I was like, oh, that's nice. You got some nice hair, Noreen. Like, that's when I started noticing, like, oh, you got some really nice hair. And I saw the whole transition period, the whole period.
Isn't that real? I know.
That
that is. I mean, sometimes I think back on it and I still can't believe it. I mean, and the thing is, I know, I'm not unique. It's not like every other person who's gone through chemotherapy and stuff didn't experience, well, some people lucky they didn't get any hair loss, but sometimes I still can't believe that that happened to me,
You know what I think it was? I think it's a part of you that you kind of forgot that you was going through all that. You just knew, from like talking to Bruce, talking to like Eileen, your good friend, is you just knew that, look, 5:45 Tuesday, Thursday. I'm sorry, that's my class. I gotta. Yeah, but Noreen, you have. Hello, you just went through. Yeah, I know, but I have class. I go to work from 9 to 5, right? It's just.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I looked forward to it. I really did. Going to move camp, doing the yoga, all of that was sort of my salvation. And of course, I loved seeing you. I loved seeing everybody else.
Of course, you gotta throw that in. Yeah.
I loved seeing everybody in class. I would feel guilty if I didn't go. And it wasn't, I know we tease you a lot. We say, oh my God, you're punishing us and all this kind of stuff.
It's true.
But yeah, kind of.
It's true. I mean,
yeah, especially when you tell us, to, what do you call it, explode or, go faster. I think,
what a jerk.
What a jerk. I'm going as fast as I can, okay? I'm surprised I'm not falling down here, but But yeah, and I guess for me going to, even if I couldn't, when I was going through treatments, even if I wasn't feeling well enough to go 100% in class, I think even the 50% was better than zero for me.
Yeah.
So if going to class meant I was doing at least a little bit, that was better for me. I think both physically and emotionally better than knowing that, okay, going home and doing nothing, and I don't want anybody who goes to treatment and are sick, are feeling like I have no empathy, because I'm sure, there were days when I didn't feel good and so I stayed home, but so you have to. If you're not feeling up to it, then you have to. But if you're feeling well enough where you can at least show up, then I think it did a world of good for me.
Everybody goes through it differently.
Yeah.
Everybody's body reacts to it differently, and luckily your body reacted to the point where you could still move, you could still do whatever you could.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you've always been. You've had times where you had that bad you had the bad knee, or you came, maybe you couldn't do the workout, so you just came to class to sit on the side just to watch. And that's just something about, your dedication and it's not only dedication. I think what I want people to understand is it's also a mindset. It's, if you're not dwelling on your problems or whatever is hindering you from being normal, all you're thinking about is, I still have to work from 9 to 5. I still got to do my class. You don't know any better. You're focused on that. That's what I got to do. It's just a normal day. And I'm sorry, that's what I do. And that's kind of what you never lost, I think.
Well,
what got you through it.
I know it sounds so cliche, but it really was a lifestyle. I had, once I started going to move camp, the exercise had become such a huge part of my my lifestyle, that it was, it was the expectation for me was I needed to have this continue, even if it was at a reduced level. I still needed to go, and I wanted to go. And yeah, you're right. The time I showed up to class, and I didn't feel well enough to work out, but I wanted to still watch you folks exercise. I know, yeah, so silly.
You wanted to be in it. No, you wanted to be in it.
I still wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to still talk story with everybody, even though I had to tell myself, can Noreen just sit here and just shut up, because they're busy working out, right? They don't have time to be interacting with you. You're sitting there just talking story with them.
It's like at school. Like you're the teacher's assistant that day. You're like, hey guys, hi. I know I can't be in it with you, but I'm the class monitor today. I just gonna hang out on the side, watch you guys. Hey.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, watch your form. Keep a straight back.
Yeah, keep going. I'm gonna sip on my milk over here. You guys keep going. I think that's so cool. That's what I like about you is you just you persevered, and you're one of the few stories I talk about to this day when people, they talk about, what kind of clients you had. How was your career as a trainer? And my career as a trainer is defined by the clients I train. It's not what I've accomplished, not, you've been doing it for this long, or, you got Trainer of the Year award. None of that, will ever, which I wish I did, but I never will. But
in our hearts, you are. You are the Trainer of the Year every year.
But I've always been defined by my clients. That really is the truth. You guys are a reflection of my work. And whatever you guys accomplish, it's because we've worked on it together with each other to get you guys to where you are or where you need to be. So that's what makes me proud.
Well, because you care about us as people. We're not just clients that represent numbers or income for you. You take the time to get to know us and find out about our own individual needs in terms of fitness, but overall health and well-being. And I think, and I know, after I had my knee surgery, I know that I really feel in my heart, and don't shatter my dreams if you tell me otherwise, but that you tailored a lot of those workouts
big time
because to accommodate my knee injury.
Huge.
Because I noticed that, hey, wait a minute, we're not doing all these jumping stuff. We're not doing so much running or sprinting. Still incorporated some of that, but I had noticed that had drastically changed. And I thought, is he doing this because of me? So I felt kind of guilty, to be honest, because I thought, what about the others?
We're in it together. That's the thing. When it comes to a class like that, we're in it together. And when you're, as a trainer, if you're programming the workouts, you're creating it, you have to think about everybody in the class. Just like, how like we had your friend Eileen, right? And she, of course, like with everybody, there's certain things that she couldn't do. I had to factor that in, or you're going to make somebody feel out of place. You're going to make somebody feel like, I guess I don't want to come to the workout. Like, look at, they're jumping on walls, and it's not about just, look at him just catering for that one person. No. It's, we're all in this boat together, and we have to stay afloat, and we all have to get in a good workout. And the last thing I want someone to do is for someone to feel uncomfortable or that they don't belong. That would hurt me more than anything. It would bother me. So, the workouts have to be adjusted, just like how I would do for any other student. I want everybody to feel like they can be a part of the class, and you guys know the options. You guys can make it harder if you want anyway.
Yeah.
You know? So even if we're not jumping. Yeah. Sorry, I ain't getting you emotional again. I'm sorry, but that's
no, thank you.
That's the truth, and I'm just proud. I could talk to you forever, and I shouldn't because I know I have to jump on another call.
Yeah, but, sorry.
I really want to, but I just want to say that you are. You better grab the tissue, Noreen. You better grab it now.
Nah.
But you are one of the clients that pretty much represent the brand Team Move, and whenever if we have anyone that we have to put out there as an example of what it means to be consistent, be dedicated, to be driven, to not make excuses, to work hard, it's always, you're one of the top three. You will always be one of the top. And, look at me. Promised myself I wouldn't cry. But look, I did it to myself. But yeah, you really are special to us, just like every client. But your story is what I love the most, and that's why I wanted to tell it today. I wanted to tell it in full, because we do have the video on you, which you made Team Move's Hall of Fame about a few years back, but this was a nice way to really tell it and share it with others, so that other people can be inspired, and when they're about to make an excuse, they can say, look, Noreen went through chemo, she went through all this stuff. I better stop making excuses. And that's the whole benefit of this story. What is the one thing you would tell everyone from this whole experience that you went through? What is the one thing you learned or piece of advice that you would tell everyone?
Gosh, that's a hard one. Maybe that you can. I think everyone can do more than they think they can. Like, if you think, no, I'm sick, so I can't do this. I think you'd be surprised at what you're capable of doing when you give yourself that chance to do more than you think you could. And to just do it. Yeah. I never, from the get-go, going through knowing that I had chemo coming up before I started it, if I had told myself, no, I can't exercise while I'm going through this, I don't know that I would have, and I don't know how I would have handled the treatments as well as I did if I didn't tell myself that I could continue to exercise and that I could do it in spite of going through treatments. And
if you went through that, I think people can at least wake up and get in a workout, provided that they don't have any ailments or anything, right?
Yeah, you don't want to do anything that's going to make yourself worse, but what you do, I think, makes a difference, right? If it's just, walking down the block.
Yeah.
Or just, I don't know, just something
better than nothing.
Yeah. And I think you'll surprise yourself that, hey, I can walk 2 blocks instead of just the 1 block, I think you can do a lot more than you really give yourself credit for, and to just do it.
I totally agree. I couldn't have said it better myself, but
yeah, you probably could have, but
I don't know. You said it pretty good. I promised myself I wouldn't tear up, but geez, someone made me
kind of soft, Yeah.
I am a really softy.
You're a softy.
Anything with S. I was a sissy in school, and all the S's you can think of.
Oh no, you don't want to go there. All the S's.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
But thank you for sharing your story, Noreen. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to part 2, which is when we come out of this whole quarantine thing and we start up our classes again. your story is not over. It is not over by a long shot, and I'm really looking forward to getting you even stronger, helping you get to your goals, and yeah, we got a lot to look forward to, young lady.
Me too. Okay, thanks. Best trainer in the world.
Oh, stop it! Your check is in the mail. Stop it.
Okay, thanks.
I want to thank Noreen again for being on the show. Our first Team Move client on the show. And I love the stories of my clients. I tell you, as a trainer, I'm very proud of them. And if you guys only saw what I saw in every workout and their dedication and just consistency, I mean, it's inspiring, it's motivating. But thank you to Noreen again. And I look forward to telling more stories from our clients in the future. Thank you again for listening. This has been another episode of the show where we interview the storytellers, the hustlers, and the outcasts of the world. I'll see you on the next episode.